hello, friends. I'm just checking my audio for now, and I will let you know. You know, it looks blurry on my end. Give me 1 second. I'm going to clean that lens on my phone. So I'm going to take myself off screen for just a second. Okay. Does that look okay? Let me see. I'm going to refresh here real quick. I guess it's okay. All right. So, what I thought, good morning, my friend. How are you? What I thought I would do was share what I'm doing for kind of organizing some of my stuff. So, I had bought an acrylic bin. Let's see if you could see what it is. It's like this acrylic bin. So it's narrower. See, it's narrow. But and I got it so that I could put it like towards the back of my desk when I'm recording videos. And that way I could still reach for my oftenly used tools easily. The problem was if I put things in there, because it's just this long thing, things just kept tumbling over. So at first I thought, let me put some smaller containers like this one in there and then sort in here. But then as I was cleaning up Christmas wrapping stuff, I had 3 of these from wrapping paper left over. And I thought, well, what if I just cut these down and cover them with patterned paper? Good morning, my friend. How are you? To have little different compartments in there. So that's what I did. And all I did to do that, let me show you. I'm going to cut one extra one. This is what's left of the second roll. Is I kind of just measured. I wanted, I made them 2 different heights. So the back one was 4 inches tall and the front ones I made 3 inches tall. So this is at 5. So all I really did, where's my ruler? I'll use this one, was mark the 4-inch mark and make like a few marks around it. Let me do that. And thank you, my friends, for being here. I know I've not been doing as many lives as I had last year, but when you have older parents and in-laws and you have grandbabies, it kind of takes over your life. Okay. Then I just got some washi tape and I just marked like around. So I put it where my marks were and just went around the whole roll with my washi tape. Okay. And then I just got, what did I do with it? My blade here and just cut. So all I did was along the edge of the washi tape is I just went in. And now the cut's not going to be perfect, but I'm not going for perfection here. I'm going for function. And so as long as it's close, once I cover it with a pattern paper, you really won't be able to tell too much. I was being real careful because I don't want to slip or cut myself. What I did make sure to do, because when I first started it, I was struggling to cut through this. And then I realized, you need to change your blade. It's been a while. So I changed to a new blade and that made it much easier to cut. Okay, so here, I have it cut. So then once I had that cut, it was the right height. So I did that with the big long rolls. And I ended up reusing one piece of washi tape for each roll of, or wrapping paper roll. I mean, I don't even know what to call it. And you could use probably toilet paper rolls or paper towel rolls for this, but I had this and I thought, I'm going to save it, see what I can use it for. And then it hit me when I was kind of cleaning up that I could use it to put in those bins. So see, I stacked them up. So I have shorter ones and longer ones. And I started to cover some of them. So here's one of the shorter ones I covered. And here's some of the longer ones I covered. And here you can see where I overlap the paper. And that's going to go to the back. So nobody's going to see that. I thought about covering it with some more paper, but really it's not that important. And then what I also did was I folded over on the top, and then I got a scrap of that paper and put it along the inside to kind of cover that. And then I put some heavyweight black cardstock on the bottom, outside, and on the inside. I don't know if you can tell. There. Kind of to make it a little more sturdy. And this way, when I'm putting my stuff away, for example, I can put, you know, scissors in one. I can use another one for my pens. I can use one for, like, these are my, I can put my gel pens in one. And the reason I did some shorter ones is because, like, my tweezers right here, see that if I would have put them in the back one, they kind of are hidden. So it's easier to see them here. So I thought that was what I would do. So let's put one or two together just to, so you could see how I did it. So I pulled out this paper pack I had in my stash, and this is 6 by 8, I think, paper. Yeah, 6 by 8 and a quarter. Yeah, 6 by 8 and a quarter. So I had enough of this that I could use different pages from this pattern paper for all my sheets. So for a 4-inch roll, what I did, when I wanted to see how long I needed my paper to be to go around the roll, instead of rolling around a piece of paper, I just took the washi tape that I had used and laid it down on my ruler, and I saw I needed 6.5 inches. So, and then because this is 4 inches tall, I wanted to have 1 inch to be able to, like, curl in or fold over. So I'm making it 6 inches tall. So I'll start by cutting this to 6.5. And then I save this piece for the inside. This piece. Sorry, guys. And then all I'm doing with this before I kind of run it along the edge of my desk to curl the paper, to train it, is along the 6-inch side. I am scoring at 5 inches. And that'll help me to fold this over my little tube, and at 1 inch. And I'm doing a real, like, good score, because this is a thicker pattern paper. I'm sure you don't have to score it that well if you use a thinner pattern paper. I hope you feel better soon, Dawn. That cold has been going around here too. My son got it again, and I was like, oh, please don't let me get it. Fortunately, I did not. So I'm good, but I hope you feel better. Good morning, everyone. Hey, Justine, welcome, my friend. Good morning, Cordelia. Good morning to everyone, in case I missed you. You're watching from work. Guys, don't get in trouble. Please. And then what I did was, it's hard to show you because I don't have the edge of my desk, but let's say this was the edge of my desk. I just kind of curled it, I pulled it against there so that I'm going to have to do it so it curls. See, it's kind of curled. So along the edge of my desk, I just kind of started to train the paper so it would go around my roll easily. And let me grab one of my 4-inch rolls. And then I want to make sure it's fitting between my scored lines okay. So I'm folding it up. And this one's just a little off. So I'm going to trim a little bit off of one end. Just using my scissors here. It's just a hair. Because I made those score marks, it kind of shows me where my 4 inches are. Okay. So then I could see it folds up good there. So that works. Then I got my, it's like score tape. I think this one I got on Amazon. I have some from Amazon, some from scrapbook.com. But I have lots of these rolls of this double-sided tape. So I'm putting some along each edge and then one down the middle. And then I'm putting some along the edges that are going to fold over. Now, how was everybody's weekend, friends? Mine was pretty good. How was your Valentine's Day? Did you guys do anything special? We just kind of hung out and went out to dinner to my favorite Italian place. I just love Italian food. So that's all we kind of did. And then yesterday, we spent the day trying to help my mother-in-law with one of her cars because it's just been sitting there, not being used, not being started, even though we told her, please make sure to start each of your cars at least once a week because the battery's going to die. They're not going to work. Just please make sure to do that. Well, she didn't. And we're trying to sell this car of hers. And the battery was completely dead. And it's a big battery because it's a Chrysler 300 something Hemi, 300 Hemi. It's a big motor, so it's a big battery. Okay, I took that release paper off of the middle tape there. And then I'm going to kind of roll this up and make sure it's lining up with my score lines how I want it. And then I'll do this. So anyway, we took the battery to get charged at the auto parts place because they charge it and test it. And so they did that. The battery was no good because it sat there for a year not being used. So then we bought a new battery. The batteries are not cheap, guys. And we took it and we replaced it. And the car still would not turn on. I mean, we could hear the clicking because the first time you got nothing. Once we replaced the battery, we could hear it clicking like it wanted to start, but then it just didn't. It didn't. So my husband's going to go back today after work, if the rain isn't too bad, and start trying to figure out kind of troubleshooting. See if he can get it up and running so we can sell it. Because before this happened, that car ran beautifully. I mean, my husband drove it around for several hundred miles to make sure everything ran well. And at first she didn't want to sell it because it was the last car my father-in-law had bought for her. And then, so it sat there and eventually she said, okay, let's sell it. So, she decided, and that's when we went to turn it on, you know, to check the mileage and make sure it was still running well before we put it up for sale, because it has a new engine too. So before my father-in-law passed, they had replaced the engine on this car, spent entirely too much money on that. Oh, I took the release paper off this edge, and now I'm just going from the inside. Let me see if I can kind of, and clipping up to the score line, kind of to make these, so I'm folding in little bits because you can't really fold the full circle in. But anyway, she finally decided, yeah, we need to sell it. It's just sitting in the driveway, and she's probably not going to drive for much longer. Okay, then I'm folding these in, and just with that score tape that I had on, attaching it to the inside of the roll, gift wrap roll. Then I'm going to use my pokey tool from scrapbook.com because it's round, and then just kind of burnish it so these stay there. Okay. So then I already took the release paper off the tape there, and I'm going to do the same on this side. So anyway, my husband was very frustrated because he tells her, Mom, I told you to turn on the cars at least once a week. Why haven't you done that? And we tell her about all the cars because she has one car that was my brother-in-law's, which is just sitting there. That car, which was the last one my father-in-law bought her. And then another car, which is the one she occasionally, when she drives, uses. But it's just a mess with cars over there. So we're trying to sell that one. We're trying to get it running. And she asks me how much we think we'll get for that car. And I told her, I don't think we're going to get very much. You know, it's a big car. People don't want gas guzzlers. Okay. I have these black circles that I'm using. And those I just punched out with my, I think this is a, 1 3/4 inch circle punch. So I just punched those out. And then I'm going to get some of this 1 inch double-sided adhesive. The first one, when I did the first one, I just used liquid glue, but then I was just sitting there holding it, and I don't want to sit and hold. I want to move on to the next one. So, excuse me, I'm putting some of this tape, and I'll put some glue. So anyway, she finally, I told her we're not going to get very much for this car, but it'll be out of your driveway. You won't have to pay for insurance for it. You won't have to pay for tag renewals for it. So that'll be a good thing. Now, to get this, to be able to hold it while I fold these over, I found this sponge roller brush, and it's just about the right height if I stick it in there. So then I can put some liquid glue here around my edges, face up here, and start to fold over these ones that I clipped on the bottom. Kind of just going and folding them, trying to fold them all at once. Get them on there. Oh, this one didn't fold right. But anyway, at first she was like, well, I want to get, because when they replaced the engine, I think they paid something like $8,000, and they didn't ask us before they did it. So we were a little bit upset because why didn't you ask us? We could have, because this guy just ripped them off. And so, she's like, well, we spent $8,000, and I told her that money's gone. Don't worry about that. It's gone. There's nothing you can do about it. We'll get what we can get, and that's all there is to it. And so she's finally agreed that, okay, whatever it is that we can get, that's what we'll do. Hi, friend. Thank you for being here. How are you all doing? So, okay, here it is on the bottom. So now I want to cover that with this other black circle I cut out. So we're trying to get that car started so that we can sell it and get it out of the driveway. And my husband says, well, if we can get it started, we'll go wash it, fill the tank up with some premium gas, and list it for sale. Because like I said, it did run beautifully before it just got left to sit there. Okay, so then I just put this here on the bottom, flip it over, and then I'm just using, this is my pokey tool from scrapbook.com, just kind of pressing down and going in a circle. I'm going to make sure I adhere both of those black circles to the inside and the outside of the bottom of this. See, there it is. Still need to press a little more because the liquid glue portion isn't sticking. Then, where's that scrap? With that scrap that I have here, again, I'm going to run that across the edge of my desk to curl the paper. Just give it a nice little curl because I'm going to put that along the inside of this little tube. So I'll kind of dry fit it first, make sure I have enough overlap there, which I do. And then I'm just going to use liquid glue. I tried using the score tape, but then getting it placed on there was a little tricky because it would grab right away. And you know, with a liquid glue, you have that wiggle room, and that's what I need. So just kind of hold it there, stick it in, and open it up to press against the insides. It's hard to see the angle I'm at, I'm sorry. And then once I kind of get that in there, I can go over it again with this pokey tool because it's round. And you could probably use a pen or something else like that. And I tried with my bone folder and it's fine. You can use it like that, but I don't know. I felt like this being curved, being round, made it easier to just kind of roll this around and get it pressed. All right, then that one's done. And I can put it back in here. And I also thought about, at first, doing like a rainbow order of papers, like doing a red, orange, yellow, you know, RGB. But I don't know. I kind of like this pattern paper too much. And I was like, oh, I'm going to use it because it's just sitting there. And I'm trying to get through my stash this year, you guys. I'm really trying. So let's do one of the shorter ones. So this one is 3 inches, right? Yeah, 3 inches. So for that one, grab another piece. And I'm just randomly kind of grabbing whatever one I get. And that's how I'm just going to place them. So this one, again, was 6.5 to go around it. And then tall, this is 3 inches, so I made it 5 inches tall. And save those for the moment. And my scoreboard. I'm going to do it the same way, just a shorter roll. So along the 5-inch side, score at 4 and at 1. And that leaves me that 3-inch space in between. And then I can just do the same thing here for that one. I was really glad it worked out because I tested one. You know how you always have an idea in your head and you're like, I don't know if it's going to work. Let's see. So when I tested the first one and it worked out, and of course I tweaked it each time, you know, like the first one I used the score tape on everything. The second one I only used it on part of it. And the third one I used all liquid glue. So I kind of tested it out and this one's good. It's within the 3 inches. So finally I got to where I was like, okay, now I know what, where's my tape? What I need to do to get these assembled. And I have another one of those plastic acrylic bins for storing because I bought 2 and I bought them, I don't know if I mentioned, I bought them at Home Goods. So, you know, Home Goods is kind of like hit and miss. Sometimes you find things, sometimes you don't. So I found 2 that day. So I thought I'm just going to get them in case I need a second one. And so I'll probably, for the other one, leave it, I don't know. I'm thinking I might leave it without these little separators so I can use it lengthwise to lay down longer items. Not sure. We'll see what I do with that. If I can get just one done, I'd be happy. And then my craft room is, you know, I think this is with everybody. You clean it and then you get to your next project and it's a mess again. So you clean it and you get to your next project and it's a mess again. That's just, you know, how it is. But I have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 projects laying out that I need to finish and that I need to record a video for. So hopefully I'll get that done this week. Okay. So then, did I curl this paper? Oh, I didn't curl it. Well, it'll work. Just to be careful. And it still fits within my score marks. So I'll take off this release paper. Anyway, hopefully we'll get that car sold. It's just one of the to-do things. I have such a long to-do list, you guys. But it is what it is. And a lot of those to-dos are for my mother-in-law. And she's funny because she'll ask me, like, my brother-in-law has doctor's appointments. I don't know if I told you guys, he's back at my mother-in-law's house. So he has doctor's appointments coming up, the cardiologist and the nephrologist and all the things, all the ologists. And so she doesn't like driving too much, and it's hard for her to load and unload him in the car because his wheelchair is heavy, and it's just difficult for her. And we're trying to get someone to be able to help because there's days that I can't go. Whoops, did I take the release paper off? Oh, I didn't. Take it off before I cut. So we're trying to get that done. But she always asks me, do you have appointments? Like yesterday we were there. Do you have appointments this week? And I actually do every day this week. And I said, yes, I do. And she's like, oh, okay, well, he has an appointment on Tuesday at this time. And I'm like, I have an appointment. I can't go with you. I'm sorry. So she said, it's okay. It's not far. And I'm like, okay. His daughter gets paid to take care of him, but she doesn't. Which to me is fraud. But, you know, he has to be the one to report it. And I don't think he'll do that. He won't report his own daughter for that. So just kind of have to keep my mouth shut. Okay, then I'm going to fold these over. Oh, I didn't fold that right. But yeah, I've been super busy. I haven't had too much time to spend in my craft room, which, I mean, I like spending time in my craft room. I like just being in here. And I know my husband says he understands, but I don't think he fully understands how relaxing it is for me, because I'm not thinking about, you know, what my mother-in-law needs done, or what my brother-in-law needs, or what my mom needs, or what, you know, I'm not thinking about any of that. So it's super relaxing for me. And when I don't get a lot of time in here, I get a little grumpy. It's like I get frustrated easily, and I don't know. I just need to have my time. All right, guys, let me look here. How are we doing? Sorry, I'm just checking. Make sure my mother-in-law's not texting or trying to call me. Because like I said, never fails. She calls when I'm live or when I'm recording video. And then my husband's, I don't know, he's starting to get impatient with her. And I tell him, you can't use your patience. And he's like, but babe, I keep telling her things and she doesn't listen. And it's like, I know, but you can't lose your patience with her. She's your mother. So trying to keep him from losing his marbles, dealing with his brother and his mother, and all the things. Okay, let me get my black circles ready here. But I don't know, we'll see. It is what it is. I think that's just part of life. She has this fear of being put in a home. And we're like, we're not going to put you in a home. She is alert. She can think for herself. She can, when she wants to, she can, or when she has the freedom to, let me say rather, because when my brother-in-law's there, she feels like she can't go anywhere or do anything because she doesn't want to leave him alone. So I don't know. Okay, see this one, I'm kind of curving. See how I'm curving it almost looks like, ooh, look, I could make a pencil out of this for Day of the Teacher. Put some a black corner there and add something here and fill it with goodies. Wouldn't that be a good idea? Okay, I'm squirreling, sorry. Okay, so that's gonna go there. And this one I'm just kind of working backwards on because it's shorter and I can work backwards on it. So I'll do that. But anyway, we're not going to put her because she's made comments which I've been offended by personally, because she'll say, you know, only terrible children would put their parents in a home. And my husband knows. That's a sore point for me because my dad had dementia and Parkinson's, and it got to the point where my mom couldn't take care of him anymore. And we were kind of, when we talked to the hospital staff, they were like, and they didn't qualify for, you know, in-home care. So it was difficult for us. Why is this one not sticking? So when she says things like that, I tell her, you know, sometimes you don't have a choice. Sometimes it's the best place for them because he was in a safe place. He wouldn't wander off. He wouldn't hurt himself. He would, because it got to a point where my dad would just wander off and or fall a lot or threaten to hurt my mother. And it was just like, we can't. So when she says things like that, it's like, sometimes I just walk out of the house and I just go into our car and sit while I cool off so that I don't bite her head off. Because unless you've been in that situation, that's why I try not to judge people when they, you know, have to make certain decisions or whatever, because unless you've been in that situation, you can't know what the full story is or what it's about. All right, so there's, I have to do the inside here. So here I have two leftover pieces, a wider one and a narrower one. What did I use on that one? I think I used the wider one. So again, just gonna crease. Oh, bye, Cordelia. Thanks for being here, my friend. So I don't know, it's just, it is what it is, I guess. And I just think, you know, I've told my kids point blank, if I get dementia, just put me in a skilled nursing facility. I don't want them having to see that and have the heartache of taking care of someone with dementia, because it is difficult. It's hard. Because you're slowly losing that person every day. And so it's very difficult. But I've told my kids to do that. And, you know, my daughters are like, Mom, we're not going to do that. And my son's like, okay, whatever you want, Mom. And my husband, of course, says, stop saying you're going to get dementia. And I say, I'm not saying I'm going to get dementia. I'm saying if that happens, you know, I have to be ready for that. All right, there's another one. So I'll put that in there. I don't know. I just try and be prepared. I've always been the kind of person who, see, and then I can put my bone folders, my pokey tool, and it'll at least look pretty to me as I'm looking at it. So that's the plan. Now, I was going to tell you something. I forgot. What was it? Oh, give me a second to find something. So, one second, guys. I did a thing. I got the crate from, I forget what it's called, from Spellbinders. It used to be the caboodle, but now it's the crate, which is all the clubs, club crate. But when I went on to join, when the period opened to be able to join again, because I had canceled it, they were sold out. And I was so sad. And I was like, well, I want to at least get the small die of the month and the large die of the month, which were still available separately. So I did that. I got the small die of the month and the large die of the month. And then, wouldn't you know it, the day these shipped out to me, this became available again. The crate became available again. So I went, signed up for it. And, you know, I told my husband, okay, I did a thing. I have this crate now, and I have the extra die sets. And he's like, okay, well, you can't return them, right? And I was like, no, I can't return them. He said, well, why don't you just use them as giveaways for your channel? So that's what I'm going to do, guys. So I'm not quite sure when, the next 2 weeks probably. I'll do some videos using the different components of the crate, and I will give these away somehow. So keep an eye for that. Oh, and then not only did I get the small die and the large die, somehow I clicked 2 on the small die. So I have 2 of these extras that I'm going to give away, and 1 of the large dies of the month. So keep an eye. My plan is this week to kind of go through the whole crate, do some videos making cards using goodies from the crate. Also, when I do those videos, what I'm thinking I'm going to do for entries is I think I might do what Crafty Al does for her Advent series and her Easter Advent series, where she does a secret word for each day. And I won't be doing these live. It'll be recorded videos. But then you'll have to collect those secret words and then enter them at the end. And then I'll draw from those entries. I think I'm still thinking about how to do it. But that's one way I thought of doing it so that I can give these away. So these are brand new, guys. I just, I ordered them before waiting to see if the crate would become available. So that's what I did. Oh, you're welcome, my friend. I'd rather give things away because my son, was it my son or my daughter? One of them said, Mom, you just need to sell them. Go on Facebook Marketplace and sell them. Yeah, I could do that, but nobody's going to pay what I paid. And I just would rather give it away to some crafty friends. It's just, for me, I think I'd feel better knowing that the goodies I have are going to a good crafty home. Just, that's how my brain works, I guess. Okay, let's do one more before I leave because I gotta go do, trying to think which way. Oh, it's this way. So 6.5. I'll put this in better. And then I'm doing a short one. So by 5, do one more together. Set these aside. And do some stuff in here. So we'll see. Today, I have an appointment today, right after this. And then my husband will probably get home early because it's raining here in San Diego. And if it's raining, no construction work gets done. Okay, I curled it. Crease these folds. These score lines. All right. Okay. Now this is 3. It's a little big, so I'm going to trim it down. Oh, so I used a large, Bonnie, welcome by the way. I had gift wrap rolls from Christmas. And instead of throwing them away, I held on to them because I thought, I can do something. And I have this narrow acrylic bin. So I cut them down to different sizes and I'm wrapping them in pattern paper so that they can be kind of little compartments, see, for different goodies in here. So that's what I'm doing, friend. This is a little long, so I'm going to trim it down just a smidge. And it is raining here in San Diego, but it is muggy as can be. It is hot, and we really don't like the muggy rain. Oh, thank you, my friend. Oh, hi, Rosie. I haven't seen you in a minute. How are you doing? And then, Bonnie and Rosie, if you weren't here, I am going to be giving away some Spellbinder stuff that were duplicate orders for me. Hopefully, we'll see, we're on the third week of February already, right? Might not be till the first week of March. I'll try my best to do it sooner, but I can't guarantee. Like I said, life with my mother-in-law and my mom not so much, because my sister lives with my mom. She takes care of her and she takes care of her doctor's appointments and so forth. I kind of just go spend time with my mom, and there'll be time from time to time that my sister's not feeling well and she'll be like, can you take Mom? And yeah, of course, anytime. My mom is going to be 91, you guys, 91 on Sunday. Sunday's her birthday. And this year we thought, let's just do something simple, because last year we did a bigger party when she turned 90. So we're just going to do cake and ice cream for her, because she gets tired easily nowadays. Okay. So I'm going to place this here. I'm going to roll. Yeah, that's going to work. Take off this tape here, this release paper, I mean. I'm going to have to turn the fan on, or the AC on probably, because it is muggy. Oh, and then guys, I don't know if I told you, my son is moving out. He found a place. So he'll be moving out to the beginning of March. And not that like we told him, we're in no rush. You can stay here as long as you need. And he was like, no, I'm in a rush. I was like, okay. So, it'll be just me and my husband. I don't know for how long, because it seems like my door is a revolving door. In fact, one of my granddaughters, the 18-year-old, she knows her Theo is moving out, and she's like, hey, Grandma, which grandkid do you think will be the first one to move in with you? And I told her, none of you. You all have parents. Live with your parents. What do you mean, which grandkid? So, I don't know. I mean, I'm glad that they see this as home and that they feel that they can come here if they need to. But, no. We want to be empty nesters just for a little while, you guys, just for a little while. Okay, then we're going to fold these in. Kind of just going around, and they kind of pull each other in, so. And then get my little pokey tool and burnish it. This is going to be perfect. I think it's going to be perfect, because I'll be able to put in like different things in each of these. And since I put a bottom on it, I think that kind of helps to give it some stability. Although they're fitting in there pretty snugly. I got a good amount of these to fit in, or they're holding each other tight. Okay, and again, I'm snipping these so I can fold them over. And this one, I'm going to just kind of curve it in my hand, fold it flat, and then I'll get that black piece. Oops, this one didn't fold right. Oh yeah, it did. And I'll get the black piece in there. Get these ready. And then we'll be done for today. Next week, I'm thinking, maybe we work with some more Spellbinders goodies. In fact, I might play with the items in the crate that I got while we're live next week. I think that'll be fun. I'm excited to use them. That bunny, what I thought I would do with that large die of the month is, so I think it's been a couple years now, instead of Easter baskets for my grandkids, I decorate like gift bags. I just get plain gift bags and decorate them and put a little name tag on each of it for them. And then that's their Easter bag. So I was thinking, since I have the plain white gift bags, I'll just decorate them with that large Easter bunny, the large die of the month, and then put, of course, their name on there. And then I kind of just fill it with different goodies for each of them. They all get Easter eggs. They all get candies, but like the older girls, usually I fill it with like beauty care items in there. And then for the boys, the middle group, my 12-year-old and 9-year-old grandsons, you know, I do kind of things like if they like, I don't know, Pokemon type stuff. Different kids like different things, and I know what they like, so I kind of go with that for their Easter baskets. And I even told the 18-year-old granddaughter, because we went to the store and I saw all the Easter stuff out, and I told her, you know, baby, I don't know, maybe I'm going to stop doing Easter bags this year, you know, and just you get what you get at your house, because their parents give them stuff. And she says, yeah, Grandma, you don't have to do that. It's okay. We'll just do what we do at our homes. And I was like, okay. And then I thought afterwards, no, I can't do that, because my babies like to come over and do the Easter egg hunt, which is funny because the older ones help me with the Easter egg hunt and preparing it for the little ones. So the older ones do the Easter bunny duty, while the middle age group keep the little ones busy. So everybody has a job, and I'm getting them there, and they have their bags so they can collect Easter eggs in. All right, there's another one, you guys. See? All right, so next week, as long as I don't have any emergencies, we will play with some Spellbinders goodies, 9 a.m. Pacific. Let me show you. I didn't show you what was in the crate, huh? Let me show you. I'm sure you've seen like a bunch of unboxing videos and such, but I want to show you anyway. Let me move my stuff over here to my little different compartments. Okay, so you get, it's upside down, the stencil of the month. I could also use this on the gift bags because they're white gift bags. But this one is Botanical Bunny, and look how pretty, you guys. My camera's backwards. That's why I keep going the wrong way. Isn't that pretty? So this is shown at 85%. So it's a little bit bigger than that, but it's beautiful. And it has 5 layering stencils. Look, in fact, I saw Nicole Spohr do a card using these with just blues. Oh my God, it was gorgeous. And I thought, oh, I could do that, and I could do different colors. Oh, I could do different colors because each of my grandkids like have their color. Like the oldest one is yellow. The 18-year-old is pink, purple. The 17-year-old is pink. They just all have their own little color items that I've always given them. So I could do that, kind of follow Nicole Spore's idea, but with different colors. I don't know. I'll think about that. This was one of the freebies. This is the stitching die of the month. It's Spring Stitched Tree. How pretty. I just like that you have all these leaves and flowers. You could use them for anything. You don't have to use them with this tree. And you could actually use this tree, if you use just the tree alone, depending on your background, your scenery, you could use it as a Halloween tree, make it a spooky tree with some pumpkins and bats. I think that'll be great. And then this one is the small die of the month, Spring Haul. This is the one I have 2 extra of that I'll be giving away. And so you can make this wheelbarrow with all these florals and the little bunny and Easter eggs, carrots. So cute. I love this. Like I could use this on their bags. Oh my goodness. I'm going to have to kind of decide. Then this, was this an extra one? Was this a bonus? This might have been a bonus. Stencil bonus. So this will work with the Better Press of the month. And you would stencil here. The Better Press will do that, I believe. Yeah, here's the Better Press. So the Better Press would do, like, see the black outline part there? That would be the Better Press section, and then the stencil would do the colored section. So I think this was a bonus. I'll have to look. I don't remember, but I think so. So then here's a Better Press and foil. So this is one of the things they combined when they changed the caboodle to the crate. And I'll link, you guys, when I get out of here, I'll link, bye Rosie. I'll link to Spellbinders if you want to take a look at what's available. But I'm actually loving both Better Pressing and foiling with these. They come out so pretty. Then this is the Stamp and Die of the month. Look at that pretty image there. When I see these kinds of images, you guys, I instantly think watercolor. I don't know why, but I think I'm going to stamp that and watercolor it. And then all kinds of different sentiments. Handmade happiness enclosed, hello spring, Easter blessings, celebrating in full bloom, your friendship makes spring brighter, sending springtime smiles, fresh picked wishes for you, ears to a wonderful Easter, and then bloom with happiness this spring. And then, of course, the dice for the images and the sentiments. This, I think this was a bonus. Yeah, this was what you got if you got the crate. And so this is the, these are cutting dies. These are, what's the name of it? Lively Blossoms. So you get all these different flowers and greenery. Love that. Then here's the large die of the month, which makes this adorable bunny. So cute. And you get these florals, like to make a little bouquet on its head. And these cute glasses. So cute. This is the other one I was thinking of using on the bags, on the Easter bags. And then you get, this is the Spring Stripes embossing folder of the month. And it's hard to see. Oh, here you can see on the back the packaging. Sorry, guys. So this is kind of looks like leaves, you know, falling down. Cascading leaves. Yeah. And then the 3D embossing folder is all these leaves. Beautiful. Love it. I like that they have these nice large embossing folders because I could like emboss half a sheet of 8.5 by 11 paper and then cut that down and have 2 A2 panels. And then this was also a bonus, this cutting die. This one is Season of Faith. I love this little church. That's so cute. Love that. And then you get a sampling of cardstock. So this is the Season of Bloom Creative Spark Pack. So you get 10 sheets of 8.5 by 11 and it's 100 pound. So this one has blush, tutu, carrot, beeswax, saffron, rainforest, windy, cascade, fairy tale, and lavender. Let me open it. I'll show you so you can see. Now get it close to me so I can not cut through the paper and only cut through the plastic. Okay. I try and keep them in their order so I know what colors they are. So let's fan these out a little. You can see all the colors. Look how pretty. Oh, so springy. I think everybody's ready for spring. I think everybody's over winter. And although for us, winter isn't a big thing. We're basically summer all year long. All right, friends. So I'll play with something next week. Not sure what, but we'll play with something. And then maybe we'll work on the Easter bags for my grandkids. Yeah, I think maybe we'll do that. Okay, I'll see you next week. 9 a.m. Pacific, and we'll play with Spellbinders goodies. All right, friends, I got to run. I have an appointment. Have a great week, everyone. And thank you so much for being here, my friends. Bye.